हेलो, वेलकम बैक। हमने देखा था कि किसी फोर्स को अप्लाई करके वी कैन ट्रांसफर सम अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी फ्रॉम अ टारगेट टू अ सोर्स। In our case that we had discussed, some amount was transferred from a footballer to the football. But mostly what we can see that mostly kinetic energy is getting transferred to the football. But along with kinetic energy, many other kinds of energies are also transferred. Means the energy which got transmitted from the footballer to football is converted into kinetic energy of the football, sound energy, thermal energy, or many other kinds of energy as well. But mostly we discuss about kinetic energy of the football, because in comparison to kinetic energy, all other kinds of energy that was getting transmitted in this transaction, the entire energies constituents are very less as compared to kinetic energy. So mostly we say that energy which was transferred from footballer to football got entirely translated into kinetic energy of football. Let's see further. According to work kinetic energy theorem, if only kinetic energy of the object is changed, then we can say that work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. So earlier what we were telling that work done is equal to change in entire energy, change in total energy. But if mostly we can see that kinetic energy is getting dominated over other forms of energy, because other forms of energies are very minimal as compared to kinetic energy. So in comparison to kinetic energy, we can ignore or we can neglect the values of all other kinds of energy. So instead of telling change in total energy, we can approximately tell it is change in kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy. So work done by a force is equal to change in kinetic energy. This is called work kinetic energy theorem. And remember, it happens only when kinetic energy, the value of kinetic energy is very much as greater compared to other sources of energy, so that other sources of energy can be neglected in front of kinetic energy. And for all the most of the cases that we use in our curriculum, this transfer will be converted into kinetic energy only, and we will ignore the rest of the energies. In this way we can say that work done by a force is equal to change in kinetic energy. This can be demonstrated in this diagram, which says earlier football was moving with velocity of vi, and hence its kinetic energy would be half mvi square if the mass of the football is m. And after we are applying a force F, an external force F is applied to the football, due to which the velocity vi got changed to velocity vf. And since the velocity has changed to vf, the kinetic energy associated with the football would have also changed, and now it had become half mvf square. And just now we deduced that work done by this force F which has been applied to the football will be equal to change in kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial, and that will be equal to half mv final square minus half mv initial square. So this we can conclude from work kinetic energy theorem. We will discuss further in next lecture.